Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Wealth KC Short Take. Braden and Will joining me here. We each have a question or a topic we are going to bring to each other's attention, and you will get our raw and honest responses. Let's jump right into it. All right, so I'm going to start here. And my question or topic was a tweet from Unusual Whales that I saw. This is a little bit older, late last year. And it said 47% of responders to a Natixis investment manager survey said that achieving retirement security will take a miracle. Achieving retirement security will require a miracle. 47%, nearly half, right? Round that up to half. What say you?
Yeah, well, I'll start there. I think we've kind of touched on this in the past, I believe, too, but a lot of people just don't understand what it actually takes. And so they have this far off image in their head that it's going to take a miracle, right? When in reality, if they just sat down and spoke with someone that, could help them realize what exactly they're going to need, they'll realize, well, retirement may not look, as grand as they might want it to look. But there is a path to retirement for every individual out there. It's just determining through detailed financial planning, what that path is for you.
Like that, Braden?
I would agree with everything Will just said. I think that was spot on. A big piece of this, and it's actually something that I'm going to speak to a little bit, is once you come up with that plan, is remaining disciplined and just kind of tuning out the noise. A lot of times, just by nature, whenever you see something scary in the news, market volatility, a lot of people might make an irrational decision with their investments, maybe cash out when things are down. Those are the kinds of things that can, for lack of a better term, kind of blow up your plan. And so that's a big part of why I would encourage everybody to speak to a financial professional to kind of keep you on those rails, to kind of give you that guidance to remain disciplined and not make any irrational decisions.
Yeah, I agree with both of those ideas. The thing that popped into my head was what were their expectations for retirement? Did they have the, live in your same, local Kansas City home, go on a trip or two per year, or was it, no, I want to keep buying new cars and have a vacation home and travel across the globe, So I think the expectations are sometimes the biggest factor in getting in the way of you feeling like you can retire, or at least you're on pace to be able to retire, is the expectation that you have for yourself. Is it too high, of what is reality based on maybe your family income or your family situation, or how much student loans did you have to pay off for? There's just tons of factors that go into this. But I think a big one is the expectations they put on themselves to what type of retirement are they actually going for. So good one there. We'll let you go. Let's see if I can pull yours up here. There we go.
So yeah, I saw one from the same account as well as you, Sean. But 63% of young adults believe the stock market is a great place to build wealth and invest, but many are not participating, with 61% not saving for retirement each month per CNBC. So again, another kind of headline that people are scared that they're going to be able to retire, or that they're not doing the things they need to do to ultimately reach that goal of retirement. This article, I read it a little deeper. It goes on to say that a lot of people are blaming cost of living for not being able to invest. Not a lot of extra money left over, especially for those young individuals. And I thought it was just kind of interesting to see how many people really struggle with, I don't have the money I need to be able to save in the places I need to save, even though they know that they need to be saving for retirement.
Yeah, my thoughts on that are, I think often when we talk to people, I don't think they realize that whether they choose to work with a financial professional or choose to DIY, that everyone, including us, your online brokerages, whoever they are willing to open you an account with $0
Mhm.
and start with $25 a month. It might take a few months to get the balance where it needs to be to make your first trade or something. But, especially online in the digital world, like there's no one that's going to say no to you to opening an account with $0 and starting with $5 or $10 a month. So I think I think people get caught up in like, oh, I need 10,000 to get started, right? Or what's the point if I can only invest $25? Speaking from experience, I remember when Leah and I got out of school, we opened our first Roths, and I know for a fact we both started putting $25 a month in there, and we just set an alert on our phone every quarter to chat and talk and see if we could up that. And truthfully, we literally just increased that by $25 per quarter, and after a year, now we're saving 100, 2 years, 200, and slowly we're able to work it up from there. So I think that's a big one. It doesn't require a whole bunch of money to get started, and truthfully, and us included, like we can do $5 a month into your Roth IRA. Just do something, and then just small increment increases to that over time can really add up. So just don't feel like you got to have a ton of money. What do you think, Braden?
I agree with that 100%. I think to your point, Sean, what that does now, somebody's going to say right offhand, and I've been told this is the hesitation. Well, what's $25 a month going to lead to? And what it really does is it formulates that habit. You're setting something, you're forgetting it. You get used to seeing that money disappear. Now it's not really disappearing, so it might have been the wrong term to use, but you're setting that aside, and you're basically forgetting about it. And once you get used to that, all of a sudden you're going to find that you can set a little bit more aside, just like you'd mentioned, Sean. And one thing, if anybody's listening to this and they're still on the fence, or they haven't given this any real thought, but they fit in that camp of the 61% who's not participating in the market, what I would encourage you to do is ask yourself honestly, why am I not participating in that? Is it because they have market concerns? If so, then speak to a financial professional. They're probably going to remove those concerns, especially if you're starting out low. Is it because you're not being honest or realistic with yourself about what your expenses are, how much money you're really spending, and that's why you just don't have enough at the end of the month to put away? And those are really important questions to have. And if you reach out to a financial professional such as ourselves, we can get you pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that point you made about people, that's a great point about not knowing how much is available to them at the end of the month to save, because they have no awareness to how much is coming in, how much is going out. And in reality, there's probably either A, more money there than you think, or B, it just would take a cut of a little bit of something else to be able to generate that first $25 a month. Yeah, for sure. Good point. That's a good question. All right, Braden, last one. I think you're going to share your screen here.
Yep. I've gotten a lot of questions in the last couple of years about and kind of what we spoke to a little bit ago, just in regard to concerns with the market, the economy as a whole. And as you know, there's always bad news. There's always some kind of negative distraction in the news. And so I came across this article just yesterday, actually. It's by the Capital Group, parent company of American Funds. One thing I would say they do a really good job of is just putting things into perspective. And so what they're doing here in kind of a world of bad news is highlighting some areas of promise here. And so what they speak to here is that the U.S. May be stronger than you think. So we spent all of last year kind of bracing ourselves for a recession. I know myself, I've probably spent the last 2 years telling clients it's likely that we're going to see a recession that has never materialized. We showed all of the signs prior to it, But if you look at the numbers from last quarter of last year, our America's GDP increased by 3.3% annualized. That's a very promising sign. Last month, the U.S. added 353,000 jobs, and wage increases were up by 4.5%. Now, that's likely to slow a little bit. However, with moderating inflation, these gains should support consumer growth spending. Another interesting piece to this article that I saw, the U.S. housing market appears to be recovering as mortgage rates ease. There are early signs of manufacturing heating up as businesses begin restocking inventories. The U.S. government has committed $1.4 trillion to capital projects, including construction of manufacturing facilities, as American companies seek to diversify supply chains. So we are showing signs that the Fed's plans for a soft landing are working. The introduction of AI, of the AI boom, is helping with a lot of that. It's helping companies operate much more efficiently. As far as market opportunities, as a lot of us know, we've heard a lot about the Magnificent Seven in the news as of late. Those companies had a really good year last year, and they kind of carried the market up last year. Now, it does look like those returns are warranted. However, the remaining broader market, if you will, has kind of lagged those companies, which wasn't necessarily to be unexpected, but we could anticipate some other areas of growth. One thing they discuss in here that I thought was promising to the U.S. economy was over the last several years, we've had trade tensions with China as well as COVID, which exposed vulnerabilities in the supply chains with shutdowns and labor shortages. What we've seen as of late is Mexico has actually surpassed China as the number one trade partner to the U.S. Now, Mexico provides attractive labor costs, ample resources, and just due to geography, limits a lot of the logistical issues that could happen in the supply chains.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would help companies operate more efficiently moving forward. So the main thing here, back to kind of what we touched on a bit earlier, they kind of summarize here, stay focused on what matters. Distractions and discouraging news are always around us. There are the challenges we're aware of and unknown setbacks that will inevitably occur throughout the year. Bad news can drive market volatility in the near term. That's pretty standard. But company fundamentals drive the long-term value. So to that, I would tell everybody, once you're in the market, stay focused, stay disciplined, and you will reap the benefits of doing so.
Yep. Yeah, I really love that article, Braden. It definitely can feel like if you pay attention to the news, especially financial news, that disaster is all around us. But taking a deeper look past the headlines, just like you showed, there's promise all around us. Even with rising tensions geopolitically across the globe, think Ukraine war, think war in the Middle East starting to pop up its head. The United States is in a position that no other country on the planet is, in terms of the resources we have at home and the partners we have to the north and the south of us, like you mentioned, with bringing on a lot of facilities in Mexico to help facilitate that economic growth. So I love that article. Definitely got to keep focused on the good and try your best to ignore the bad headlines that can sometimes lead to some scary thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good insight, to get some fresh reminders of what's going on good, because overwhelmingly we see the bad. I think the part about what you said that stuck out to me was I think it was 1.4 billion in the investment in U.S. manufacturing. Trillion? Yes. When I said billion, I was like, it doesn't seem like a lot as far as total. Yeah, 1.4 trillion. Like, that's the big question mark for, I would argue, the U.S., our economy, our debt crisis that we're in. can we build the stuff that generates the goods and services to keep our economy growing, to get tax revenue on the right side of the spending budget, right? It's we're gonna have to spend a little bit of money to try to make a little bit of money. We got to be careful with that. It can go the bad direction really quickly. But that's the part to me that stuck out of all that is, can we invest good money from the government into building out manufacturing, creating jobs, to allow people to continue to make the money they've been making, have that be able to keep up with inflation, but have all of that growth in reality create more GDP, right? More tax revenue to hopefully get on the right side of this massive budget deficit we have in our country. So hopefully that will happen. So
exactly. And
awesome.
To your point, that's it's not something that would happen overnight. From what I gather, it's going to be a 5 to 10 year transition, but nonetheless, it's promise in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Well, appreciate you joining. Good questions. We'll try to do this every week or every 2 weeks. Appreciate you all joining us. If you have any topics or any questions that you'd like us to answer or just chat about, please comment below or send us a message. We'd be happy to do that. So thanks again. Hope you all have a great rest of your week.